Chardon. Hey, true crime fans. Welcome back to another episode of Chardon. Hey, true crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight, we are going to be bringing you something special.
Yeah, today we are talking about the Josef Fritzl case.
I think it's pronounced Josef.
Well, you might be right about that. Josef Fritzl. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a little break from Heaven's Gate this week because we needed to concentrate on our respective health. Both of us have been having some health issues, but we still wanted to give you some content this week, so we decided to do a one-shot today.
Yes, exactly. So since we're both sick, we're going to talk about one of the sickest men we've ever covered.
Hey.
Ha ha ha.
This guy, I mean, would you say he's sicker than I don't know. Who would you say that he's sicker than Eileen Wuornos? I'm leaning towards yes.
Safe to say because this guy is just like full on malice. Like there's nothing about this situation that can be redeeming. There's no room for sympathy in this case, I think.
Agreed. With Eileen and with some other people, there is at least a little bit of room for sympathy, but it's few and far between when it comes to these cases because, like, you know, someone like Ted Bundy, no sympathy. Gary Bitchway, no sympathy.
No. Oh my God, I can't remember the guy's name.
Old Drippy Eye?
No, not Old Drippy Eye.
BTK?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's who I'm thinking of.
Are you thinking of Tall Boy or...
No, not Ed Kemper.
Not Tall Boy. Okay. So BTK is the one, Bind, Torture, Kill. He's the one that did the really bad poetry.
Yes. What the fuck is his name?
Dennis Rader.
Thank you. Holy shit. No sympathy there.
No, none. Tall Boy we have some sympathy for.
Yes. Like a decent amount of sympathy, like, and even the ones that we have sympathy for, we're still, yeah, and even the ones that we do have sympathy for, we're like, cool motive, still murder.
Exactly. Looking at you, Loki. What? Who said that?
Excuse me. Leave him alone. Okay.
Cool motive, still murder.
He killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted. Also, right, yes, anyway. I'm drinking water out of a wine glass. It's for my health. Leave me alone, everybody.
No, it's fine. Starting tomorrow, I'm on antibiotics for 10 days, so I won't be able to drink at all. So, yeah, next week when we're recording, I'm going to be aggressively sober and unhappy about it. At least I can be sober for 10 days. If it was like where I'd be like, I can't do this. It's been 10 days. I need a drink. Then I would be like, okay, maybe I need to calm down a little bit. But at least I can be sober for a couple days, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so let's get started. Josef Fritzl was born on April 9th, 1935 in Amstetten, Austria, to Josef Fritzl Sr. and Maria Fritzl. He grew up as an only child, raised solely by his working mother, and his father had deserted the family when Josef was just 4, never to be in contact with them again.
I mean, like, can you blame Senior based on what we know about Maria, though?
There are some continuity errors with what Josef said about his mother, but if you believe the dark version, then no.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, like you said, like as is common with like so many people that we cover, Josef would he first claimed that his mother was the best woman in the world, but then like he changed his tune later.
Yeah, he would go on to say things like, she beat me, hit me until I was lying in a pool of blood on the floor. It left me feeling totally humiliated and weak.
Because, like, that's the thing with guys like this. It's always about power and domination of somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. He would also say things like, my mother was a servant and she used to work hard all her life. I never had a kiss from her. I was never cuddled, although I wanted it. I wanted her to be good to me.
Yeah, because that's like all any child wants. Wild concept.
Huh. Weird. Do you think he ever thought about those feelings about his mother while he was raping and torturing his daughter?
Oh no, I'm sure they're in no way connected whatsoever.
Not at all. Anyways, instead, he got a woman who he claimed called him a Satan, a criminal, a no good, and that he was terrified of her. However, that relationship turned in 1959 after Josef got married and bought his home, and Maria moved in with him.
Yeah, and it's at that point that Josef started abusing his mother in the way that he had supposedly been abused throughout his entire life. So he locked her in the attic and bricked up the window until 1980, when she eventually died.
Do you think that's how he got the idea for what he eventually did to his daughter?
I mean, maybe. Maybe he also just read The Cask of Amontillado too many times.
I mean, if you look at this case at all, he read The Cask of Amontillado too many times.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, in 1956, Josef met Rosemarie, who was 17, and the two married and had a grand total of 7 children, 2 sons and 5 daughters.
That must have been like real culture. Well, I guess it wouldn't be like culture shock, but that's definitely a change of pace from being an only child.
Yeah, I mean, there's those only children who they either grow up to want to have only one child, or they grow up to want to have like 17 children.
Yeah, there's like no in between.
There's really no in between.
Aside from the ones who like don't want to have kids at all.
Yeah, that's true. And then there are people who grow up in big families who, that they are either no children or lots of children.
Yeah.
Those people do not only have one child.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
You good?
Yeah, sorry, I just had like a weird feeling in my chest for a sec.
Alrighty. Well, anyway.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Josef eventually completed his education at a vocational college in Austria, the Higher Technical Education Institute, with a degree in electrical engineering, and got a job in a steel-based industry in Linz, Austria, and started just living his life.
Yeah, but by living his life, what we really mean is starting to show signs of what an abusive dickhole he actually was. Mm-hmm. He was starting to prove how violent and deprived he truly was on the inside when in 1967, while the entire west coast of the United States was in the throes of the summer of love, Josef broke into the home of a 24-year-old woman while her husband was away and raped her while holding a knife to her throat, threatening to kill her if she screamed.
Oh, off to a great start here, man. And but like not only that, he was also named as a suspect in the case of an attempted rape of a 21-year-old woman and was known for indecent exposure. And he was eventually arrested and sentenced to 18 months, but only served 12.
I just gotta say, he's known for indecent exposure. Do you think like when he's like walking down the street, people are like, oh, look, there's Josef. Oh, look, there's Josef's penis. Hi, Josef. Hi, Josef's penis.
Josef was, there's the flasher who lives next door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Josef claimed that his pathological behavior was innate, meaning that it just came to him naturally. Okay.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I do believe that there are some people that it is a natural thing. It's nature versus
nurture.
Nurture, thank you. Nature versus nurture. However, I think that the two go hand in hand personally, but at the same time, it's very much dependent on the person anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you believe Josef's story about Maria and what she was like as a mother, a case could be argued that he falls under the McDonald quadrant, not the McDonald triad, because we say that head injuries go for quadrant.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so his behavior, he claimed, was innate, and he admitted that he had planned to lock up his daughter during his prison sentence so that he could contain and express his evil side, as he put it, also saying, I was born to rape, and I held my daughter back for a relatively long, I held myself back for a relatively long time. I could have been a lot worse than locking up my daughter. I would also like to point out that in 1967, when he is in prison, Elizabeth is 1 year old. So he started planning this when she was literally a toddler.
Just, I could have been a lot worse than locking up my daughter. Like, I know in that sense he means, like...
He could have been a serial rapist.
Yeah, so, like...
murderer.
Yeah, so he's just like, look, I only raped one person, and it was my daughter who I had locked up in the basement. But it's just like, that's not better.
You're not making the point you think you're making, bro.
Just having one victim consistently, it's still, like, serial rapist behavior because you are consistently raping one person.
Yep.
Like, it's not better.
Nope. Yep.
Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So when he was in prison, a forensic psychiatrist diagnosed him as having a severe combined personality disorder, which included borderline schizotypal?
Yeah, schizotypal.
And schizoid personalities, a sexual disorder, and recommended that he receive psychiatric care for the rest of his life. Maybe we should listen to the professionals. It also just proves that his imprisonment of his daughter was not for any punishment, but was a premeditated plan of sexual gratification because homie's got issues.
So many issues, though. Elizabeth was Josef and Rosemary's youngest daughter, who was born on April 6, 1966. 1966. He was in prison in 1967. He claimed that he had already planned to imprison her while he was in prison. She was a year old.
Boy,
indeed. Anyway, so he reportedly began abusing her in 1977 when she was just 11. She finished compulsory schooling at 15 and began courses to become a waitress. But in 1983, she ran away from home and went into hiding with a work friend from in Vienna.
Gee, wonder why.
Yeah, unfortunately, she was found 3 weeks later and brought home to her parents. She rejoined her waitress course and finished it in mid-1984 and was soon offered a job in Linz, and this is where it gets bad.
I mean, him sexually abusing her from the age of 11 is already pretty bad, but...
here's where it gets worse.
Okay, yeah. That's better. But, I mean, worse.
But better wording on my part?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, on August 28th, 1984, after Elizabeth turned 18, Josef lured her down to the basement of the home, saying that he needed her help carrying a door. This was the last piece needed to seal what would become the chamber where Elizabeth would be held captive for 24 years. Yeah. After she held the door in place while her father fitted it to the frame, he held an ether-soaked towel to her face until she was unconscious and then locked her in the chamber.
Do you ever wonder where these people always get these chemicals? Like, in movies and in these stories, like, they just have, like, fucking chloroform lying around?
Well, chloroform is actually pretty easy to make.
Really?
It's acetone and bleach.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy to come by.
I literally have a bottle of acetone right next to me.
Yeah, if you got nail polish remover and you're doing laundry, just don't do them together.
Don't do that. Yeah, that's why I'm always like really concerned when I watch those cleaning TikToks. Because like people dump all of these chemicals together on top of each other and are like mixing them up and stuff. And I'm just like, you're going to make some sort of like noxious gas. And I'm really concerned about you.
Just have fun passing out for the views.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Oh.
Sorry, AC just kicked on.
Oh.
And it's like right there.
Oh man. Yeah, you look startled. You were like, whoa. I have one vent there and one vent here, and I'm not sure which is which.
Yeah, my vent is up here in the wall, but like the AC units themselves are like literally right outside this wall here.
Oh, that's what you. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so it was just like a really big boom.
Okay, I misunderstood. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Anyways, after Elizabeth went missing, Rosemary filed a missing persons report, and a month later, Josef suddenly got a letter from the missing Elizabeth claiming that she had run away to stay with a friend and not to look for her or else she would leave the country. Josef handed the letter over to the police and added that he thought that his youngest daughter had joined a cult. So,
I mean, depending on the cult, a cult would probably be better than the situation she's in.
You know what? Depending on the cult, I am inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, I say that because over the next 21 years, Josef visited his now captive daughter Elizabeth almost daily, and he was bringing her food and like just other supplies and stuff.
Yeah, but he would also admit to raping her repeatedly, and that was further proof. That's not a word, is it?
Proof? It is if she spelled wrong.
Okay. I don't know why spell check didn't catch that. It was further proved by the fact that Elizabeth gave birth to 7 children in that cellar.
So we know he raped her at least 7 times.
We know that he raped her a lot more than that, and we'll get into the disgusting details. No, we will get into the disgusting details in a bit.
Oh,
but
God, he had a total of 14 children.
Yeah, that's right. But sadly, one of Elizabeth's children died after childbirth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it being born in a cellar and the product of incest had absolutely nothing to do with it, and like no access to healthcare or medicine or anything.
Yeah, that might do it. And apparently Josef took the body away from Elizabeth and disposed of it himself, claiming that he had burned the infant's body. However, knowing what I know about cremation, that is not very likely, and I'm really curious as to what he did with that body.
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't want to say I'm intrigued because I'm not, but I'm distressed.
Yeah.
And like one of the really twisted things of this case is that 3 of the children, Lisa, Monica, and Alexander, were all removed from the cellar and were raised upstairs away from their siblings with their grandparents?
Their father.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't either. So gross.
Ugh. Anyway, after the birth of their 4th child in 1994, Josef finally allowed the enlargement of their prison from 380 square feet to 590, putting Elizabeth and her children to work for years, digging out the earth with their bare hands like mole people.
Oh, God. I can feel the dirt under my nails, like, taking in, and it's, like, causing me pain.
Yeah. Imagine that being your whole life.
That's just, oh, that's really real. That's just fucking horrible.
Yeah, I will say this, though. They had a TV, a radio, a cassette player, and they had a small refrigerator and a hot plate that that Elizabeth would cook meals on, and she taught her children how to read and write. But despite that, Josef was the unquestionable god of their universe. He would turn off the power to the cellar if they disobeyed him. He would withhold food for days and even threaten to gas Elizabeth and the remaining children, Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix, if they ever tried to leave.
Kind of a useless threat, though. There's no gas supply in the cellar.
I know.
What an idiot.
I wouldn't say that he was an idiot. I think he was just, a narcissist who wanted to be the absolute center of their universe and who wanted them to worship him the way that some people would worship a guru in some ways, or a god.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's one way to do it, with fear.
That's how a lot of these cult people do it, but anyway.
Yeah.
He also claimed that if they ever tried to mess with the door, that they would get an electric shock and die. And he actually admitted that to the police while being questioned. Yeah.
Okay. So there's all these people that are like living in the cellar.
Yeah.
Didn't anybody hear anything? Like, they've got small children. Small children don't just sit and stay quiet.
So actually, they rented a ground floor room out to a tenant who claimed that during the 12 years that they had lived there, they heard weird noises coming from the basement, which Josef explained away as being faulty pipes or the gas heating system.
God, he just has an answer for everything. Oh yeah, that sounds like children giggling. Like, no, it's fine. It's just like the gas. Don't worry about it. It'll go away.
It's ghosts.
It's ghosts.
Yeah, Josef, this really weird thing happened last night. I was sitting in my room, and I had, I was sitting there quietly. I was reading a book, and I heard children. But they came from beneath my feet.
Oh, that's just the sound traveling very strange. It was actually from upstairs, but the sound just travels in a very, very strange way when you get into the hallway, and then it sounds like it's coming from a different direction.
But it sounds like it was coming from below.
I know, weird, right?
Yeah, so I laid my head on the floor, and I was listening. And I could hear someone saying, "Stefan, be quiet. You can't let anyone upstairs hear you." What's that about?
Oh, the kids were probably just playing hide and seek. You know how they get.
But the kids were upstairs, and they said that they couldn't let anyone upstairs hear.
They may have gone downstairs to play hide and seek.
So you're saying that there is a basement?
You live in the basement.
I live on the ground floor.
Shit. That was my bad. I forgot.
Just go with it. Just go with it. I mean, unless
I threw myself off.
Unless this is like in America where they call the ground floor something silly, like the basement or something, that would be very silly.
Well, sometimes you just want to try things the American way, just to see what all the hype is about.
Oh, is that what you are doing? Okay, all right. I have a cousin in America. Maybe I could ask them about that.
I mean, Americans never seem to understand when we try to do things their way, so they'll probably think that it sounds weird, Oh,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, well, good night.
Good night.
Fucking hell. What was that? Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah, I just got really thirsty.
Oh, okay. All right, well, good night, Joseph.
Good night.
Oh man. So
can't imagine him like speaking in the sing-song voice like that. Just nighty-night.
Especially considering his father was a fucking Nazi. Like, no.
Yeah, right. Nighty-knocked.
again.
I know, right?
Oh God. Okay. Anyway. Oh my God.
Okay. So, April 19th, 2008. We're jumping ahead a little bit here, but this is when this whole sick case came out to the world. Kirsten, the eldest daughter, fell unconscious, and Elizabeth pleaded for him to bring her to the hospital. Excuse me. And then after like some back and forth, Josef finally agreed.
Yeah, and he even had Elizabeth help him carry Kirsten up the stairs. And for the first time in 24 years, Elizabeth saw the outside world. Unfortunately, Josef forced her back into the chamber where she remained for one more week.
God, that must have felt like eons.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, Kirsten was taken by ambulance to the hospital where the doctors found no record of her on any of the civil databases. In Germany, they have like civil databases. Like when a baby's born, they're like, okay, it's time to register this baby. You're born and we are registering you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like, you know, it's like birth certificates and like social security numbers.
I guess, yeah.
That's the closest thing I can think to compare it to.
Yeah, that's yeah. Anyway, but they did find that she had a life-threatening kidney disease that had resulted in kidney failure.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we can guess, but like, do we know what caused it?
I'm going to go ahead and say incest and malnutrition, literally 0 vitamin D in her entire life. Digging a hole forever. I don't know. Take your pick.
Literally never having access to any sort of medication of any kind for anything ever for her entire life.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably, you know, part of it as well. I'm just going to go ahead and guess that literally her entire life led to her kidneys shutting down.
Yeah. Just what is the case? Like what is the cause of this? You know.
Yeah, so doctor, listen, we are wondering, this girl that we are working on, what's wrong with her?
I mean, did you see her?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. What's wrong with her?
Her kidneys are fucked.
Well, yeah, duh, but like, she is pure white. Like, white as in then Hitler wanted. Hitler would be scared of this child.
She might be albino. I don't know.
No,
but
that's not albino. That's not albino.
I think that maybe I don't know if this child has ever seen sunlight before.
I mean, you know, you see those goth people and you think, oh yeah, they've never seen sunlight before. But this child has literally never seen sunlight. I broke Kate.
I wasn't prepared for that. Oh, that's really funny.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You weren't prepared for my German pronunciation of goth?
I just wasn't prepared for you bringing up goths.
You're welcome.
Out of his room. Why he's supposed to be in his room? Why is he out of his room?
Do you think that's Josef? Like, when Kirsten is out of the room, Kirsten is out of the room. She's not supposed to be out of this room. Why is she out of this room? Elizabeth is on the side, like, you're bringing her to the hospital. That's why.
And Josef's just like, oh shit.
Kirsten and like the boys, they're like when they clean that window, and Richmond's just like, oh,
oh no, oh I'm gonna, oh no,
I'm gonna go back and yeah, that's Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix.
Precisely.
Yeah. Anyways, so what we do know is that Josef turned up at the hospital with a note from Elizabeth, because fucking course he did. It's all about notes with this fucking guy.
Mhm.
Um, fucking guy. But he discussed the condition and the note with the doctor, who thought that this whole situation and his whole story was fucking weird and alerted the police. Because
Smart
finally someone is
move.
like, hey, yo, wait, German. Hi, yeah, so police, this is a doctor. And I'm wondering what I should do about this situation. So I have this guy. Wait, wait, wait. All right. So I have this guy, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah,
this guy?
yeah. So he brought this girl in and she collapsed, right? And we have no record of her actually existing. And we have no record of like who her mom is or her dad. And we are just trying to like figure out like he brought us a note from the mom saying, yeah, hi, this is my daughter. Please make her feel better. Thanks. Signed Elizabeth. But
Echo,
she
echo.
yeah, but she's not here. So, and this guy's story is really weird. He keeps saying that his daughter joined a cult like 12 years or like 24 years ago. And I don't remember there being many cults in that time, like not here. You know, you hear about the ones in America and the ones in like, you know, other places, but not here in Germany. Austria. We're in Austria, not Germany. I moved here from Germany.
Yeah, you don't really hear about those kinds of things out here, but
No.
yeah, that's a little bit sus, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's like really weird. So, I mean, like, do you want me to like hold on to the note and then I can give it to you?
Yeah, that might be a good idea because I can't think of anybody who would join a cult but then send their daughter back.
Oh yeah, no. And then he told me that, he his daughter, the one that joins the cult, she would like have children and then leave them on his doorstep. And then he and his wife had to like raise them. He has like three children that are his grandchildren, but they all look a lot like him. It's really weird. He keeps saying that they're his grandchildren, but they look just like him.
I mean, I understand the family resemblance, but I mean,
No,
what is it, like
no,
copy paste?
like copy paste. Even the girl looks like him with a wig.
Okay, yeah, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird. It looks
Okay.
like, I mean, it's like if it was possible that he had a child with his own child, that's what it looked like. I'm just saying.
I mean, you know people can do that, right?
No, that's not possible. No.
Doctor.
Yeah.
You are a doctor.
Well, technically, I am a doctor student, so
A medical professional, yeah?
Yeah.
Parents and children
Yeah.
can reproduce. It's called incest.
That's disgusting. Why would you say some things like that?
It's illegal, but it
I
is
would hope
possible.
so. I
But
would fucking hope so.
yeah, it's very illegal, but people still do it, and it's very yucky.
That is so yucky. Okay, so what do I do about this? Do I call the police?
Yes, you were very right to call the police.
Oh yeah, you're the police. Okay, great. So can you come over here? Thanks. Bye.
You are a medical professional.
I feel like that's just going to become part of our lexicon when we're dealing with these situations. Because when we have doctor cases, it's just going to become, you are a medical professional.
I'm a doctor student, a medical professional.
I am a doctor student, okay? Did you like
still working on my residency?
Did you like my doctor student?
That was really funny.
I kind of liked him. He was fun. Oh, poor doctor student.
Yeah, hello, this is Doctor Student.
Yeah, Doctor Student Heinrich.
No, see, I like to think that his last name is Student.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
my name
so when he does become a full doctor, he will be Doctor Student.
Yeah, my name is Heinrich Student.
And you're going to be a doctor, yeah?
Yeah.
So you will be Doctor Student.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay, so anyway. So yeah, so Dr. Student alerted the police. Actually, there is an actual name for the doctor that did this, who did reach out to the police. Oh God, what was his name? Oh God, hang on a second. Let me find it really quick because that guy's a fucking hero.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and assume that Dr. Student isn't actually this stupid.
No, you go ahead and keep going. I'm going to find this guy's name because it's going to bother me.
Okay, so yeah, Dr. Student alerted the police, and then the police in turn alerted the media, asking for the missing mother to come forward, and then provided additional details of Kirsten's medical history. And there are no details.
No, but Josef repeated the story about Elizabeth being in a cult and provided the most recent letter from Elizabeth to the police, who took it to a religious expert on cults who expressed doubt that this group Josef described even existed. And they also noticed that the letters seemed dictated and oddly written. I'm just expecting like some fucking nerd sitting in like a university and he's just like, oh yeah, I fucking love cults. This is so interesting.
Are you just picturing yourself as an Austrian student?
Yes. I literally almost wrote a joke in there about being like, so then when I noticed the letter, but I thought it was disrespectful to the actual person who did this. So, you know, I wanted to, so when I noticed the letter, yeah, Austrian guy at a university, just like, oh yeah, I just study cults my entire life. I'm just sitting here reading Heaven's Gates by the American Benjamin E. Zeller. Oh, this is so interesting. Oh, hello. Can I help you? You're in my office. Hello, what can I do for you?
You know basically everything about cults, right?
Well, I do own the People True Crimes Cults edition.
Oh my God, this guy's fucking weird. Okay. All right, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I own the book Heaven's Gate by Benjamin E. Zeller. And I own something that was owned by Charles Manson from America.
Great!
So yeah, I know pretty much like everything there is to know about cults.
You could start your own cult all about cults.
Holy shit, do you want to join my cult?
No, I just wanted your assistance. I just had some questions about something cult related, so I figured you was a person to go to about this.
Oh, yeah. That's great. So tell me, what do you need to know about cults? Which one do you want to know about? Do you want to know about Jonestown? Would you want to know about the People's Temple? Do you want to know? That's a trick question, you see, because Jonestown and the People's Temple, they are the same cult. I am so funny. Anyways, do you want to know about the Alamo Christian Foundation? Would you
I just need to know if this cult actually exists.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which one?
Okay, so I have these letters here.
Yeah.
can you read Susie's and see if anything in here sounds like an actual cult at all?
Absolutely. Let me take these letters from you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. This isn't real.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
But I would
Goodbye.
also like to point out that the letter writer is written very weirdly. So it's like the letter writer was being told what to write about this cult. It looks like the kind of thing that someone would assume about a cult from watching a really shitty movie from the 80s about cults. Like, I'm talking, like, in America, you know, there's that network where they make those really bad made-for-TV movies, like the Hallmark Channel and the Lifetime Channel, and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes, I've heard of those stations.
Yeah, so it's like that mixed with the American After School Special. So, like, if someone made a movie like that about a cult and then watched it and then tried to write a letter about a person in a cult, like they were role playing or something, that's what this letter is like. It was obviously written from the point of view of a young woman. However, it was definitely written by an old man. Because old men always make sure that people know that it is the mind of a woman writing. So they always include things like talking about their boobs under their shirts and that sort of thing. You know, like she boobily walked boobing while grabbing her boobies.
She titted boobily down the stairs.
She titted boobily down the stairs. And, you know, they're talking about this so much in this cult, you know. It's like lots of cults are very, very based around sex, but this is more from the point of view of someone who wants to be abused sexually by a cult leader. And they talk about how much they love the idea of being abused by this cult leader. So this was very obviously written by a man.
Oh, what? Now you're kink shaming?
No, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying this was very obviously written by an old man who doesn't understand what women think about and, you know, how to write like a woman.
And you're an expert on women? Is that what I'm getting from this conversation?
Yeah. I have like 4 wives.
Out of left field with that one.
They're all part of my cult.
Your cult?
Yeah.
That's you just started?
Okay, so listen. The cult may have been started about 15 years ago when I traveled to America and I met a bunch of women who were really into my accent. I'm just saying.
We've gotten a little off track here again.
We haven't even gotten to Billy and Bob yet.
Oh my god. Are we going to have Austrian Billy and Bob?
No, we're going to have Billy and Bob in Austria.
That would be so fucking funny.
Austrian Billy and Bob. What are their names?
Oh god.
Hans and Josef. No, wait, Josef's a bad guy. Hans and
Franz?
Yeah, why not? Hans and Franz.
Okay, but let's keep going.
Anyways. So,
meanwhile, back in the cellar.
Yeah, that's right. Back in the cellar. So back in the cellar, Elizabeth was pleading with her father to be allowed to go to the hospital. Finally, on April 26th, he let her, Felix, and Stefan come upstairs for the first time in their lives. The boys were finally able to see sunlight, something that, you know, we all totally take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
But I really mean that because I can be perfectly honest. There have been weeks where I didn't see the sun.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, I spend 90%. I spend 99% of my time indoors. The time that I am not indoors, I am walking to my car or into a building.
Yep. True. Anyways, so he took them to the hospital where Kirsten was being treated, and following the advice of the cult expert and a tip-off from the hospital, the police detained the three and took them to the station for questioning.
Yeah, and Elizabeth refused to give the police any details until they promised her that she would never have to see her father again, and then she opened up, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't blame her.
Absolutely not. It's very similar to what happened with JC Dugard. But that's a story for a different. We've covered that one before.
Yeah.
That was just a live, though. We need to re-record that for the podcast.
I cannot remember that one.
JC Dugard was the girl who was kidnapped from like the school bus stop, and she was held captive for like fucking like 18, 21 years or something like that.
Oh,
like
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah. Anyways, so over the next 2 hours, Elizabeth told them the story of the past 24 years in captivity. She told them about how her father had raped her, about the times that he had forced her to watch pornographic videos and then recreate them in front of her children to humiliate her, and everything else that Josef ever did to her. Shortly after midnight, they finally completed the interview.
God, imagine summing up 24 years of torment in 2 hours.
I think that it just started with 2 hours because I know that when the trial was happening, there were over 11 to like 14 hours worth of video of her talking about her life for the past 24 years. In fact, it was so bad that there were certain jurors who could only watch it 2 hours at a time.
Oof.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, almost immediately after that, Josef Fritzl, who was 73 now, was arrested on suspicion of serious crimes against his family members. And that night, the police took Elizabeth, her children, and her mother into care.
Yeah. Now, the police say that Josef told them how to get into the cellar through a small hidden door opened by a secret keyless entry code. Rosemary had been unaware of what was happening just under her nose.
Literally.
The entire time. On April
29th, it was confirmed that DNA evidence proved conclusively that Josef was the father of all of his daughter's children. And his attorney claimed that although the DNA proved the incest, the police still needed to prove the allegations of rape and enslavement.
To which I have to say, fuck that attorney.
It's like, I know it's their job.
I know, but I don't like it.
It's their job. I know that they're just like, even if you're grasping at straws, I know that it's their job to do it. And to like pick at every little possible thing that could poke a hole in this because they are a defense attorney. But fuck you.
Agreed. Oh, God. Can you imagine the fucking guilt that this person... Like, that poor... I mean, yeah, I know that they're like... Defense attorneys can fire their clients. Just saying.
They can?
Yeah.
Oh.
Attorneys can fire their clients. Absolutely. Anyone can fire their clients. Therapists, doctors, anybody can fire their clients.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's why you should be fucking nice to people. You don't want to get fired as a client. Anyway, on May 1st, the Austrian police said that Josef had probably been planning on releasing his daughter, claiming that he'd had Elizabeth write a note saying she wanted to come home, but that wasn't possible yet. And the police believed that he had been planning on rescuing her from the made-up cult. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because that makes a lot more sense than him planning on killing her or something, I guess.
Yeah, I think that in this case, the police are just optimists because there's no fucking way he was going to release her. My guess is he knew that he was in way too deep. He had fucking 7 children with her. Obviously, he was in way too deep, but he knew that he was in way too deep. And he was just like, yeah, so Elizabeth, I'm going to release you at some point. You just have to write a letter for mom. You know, write a letter to mommy and tell her that you want to come home, but it's just not possible yet. And then eventually I will be rescuing you from the cult, okay? I'm definitely not going to kill you and then do the same thing to Kirsten.
Oh, I just had I'm upset about the thought I just had.
Tell me. Tell us all.
So if he had done that and like killed Elizabeth and then done the same thing to Kirsten, then any kids that would have happened with her would have been his great grandchildren.
Oh my god, I am a grandfather. Great grandfather? Who cares? I have more children to abuse.
I am upset.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, that you spend 24 years abusing someone and torturing someone. You're not just gonna let them go and like assume like, yeah, they're never going to tell anybody what happened. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly just think that is naive of the police to believe that he was going to just release them.
Yeah.
But after his what's the word I'm looking for? After his arrest, Josef tried to claim that the behavior towards his daughter was not rape, but was in fact consensual. And according to statements, he claimed that he had always known during the 24 years that what I was doing was not right. Yet it became a normal occurrence to lead a second life in the basement of my house.
Ooh.
You good? You just crack your jaw?
No, my ear was like pounding.
Oh, you okay?
Like it like started kind of like gradually and then it just stopped like super abruptly, like just now. That was really weird.
That's weird.
That was super weird. Okay. But anyway, back to Josef. In regards to like the treatment of his upstairs family, he would say, I am not the beast the media has made me out to be.
Disagree.
Yeah, seriously.
He would also claim that he would bring flowers for Elizabeth and toys for the kids, and that he would watch videos and have meals with them. But that he imprisoned Elizabeth after she did not adhere to the rules anymore when she became a teenager. That is why I had to do something. I had to create a place to keep Elizabeth by force, if necessary, away from the outside world.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, yeah. And wait till you hear his excuse about why he did that.
Oh, just tell me.
He said that perhaps the emphasis on discipline in the Nazi era during which he grew up in might have had influenced his views about decency and good behavior.
The guy had 7 kids. He didn't lock all of them in the cellar for being teenagers. No. This guy is just full of shit. Okay, like just straight up, this guy is full of shit.
Agreed. So, on November 13th, 2008, Austrian authorities released the indictment against Josef Fritzl, wherein he would stand trial for the murder of the infant Michael, who had died shortly after birth and faced between 10 years to life. He was also charged with rape, incest, kidnapping, false imprisonment, and slavery, all of which carried a 20-year term maximum.
Excuse me? And then this guy pled guilty to all charges except the murder and grievous assault, which he had done by threatening to gas his captives.
Yeah. Now, in the opening statement, the defense appealed to the jury not to be swayed by emotions. I need a second. Hang on. I need. Okay. He insisted that Josef wasn't a monster, saying that he had brought down a Christmas tree to his captives during the holidays.
Oh my God, what a guy.
He was so nice to them. I don't know why they're so upset. Yeah, they were captives, but he brought them a Christmas tree. Okay, you guys?
Look, I know they were down there against their will, and he tormented them, and he would rape their mother in front of them.
Yeah.
But he brought down a Tannenbaum.
Counselor, I am just wondering, are you trying to tell me that he is not a bad guy because he brought them a Tannenbaum?
Yeah, would a bad guy bring you a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Name one bad guy who ever brought you a Christmas tree.
Okay, how about my ex-husband? He was a very bad guy, and he bought me a Christmas tree.
Is that all you've got?
No. My father, he brought a Christmas tree home. Also a very bad guy. And a father, just like Josef Fritzl. He was also a father, just like Josef Fritzl.
Look, when you put it like that, it makes anybody sound like a bad guy.
Okay, so he kidnapped his daughter, yeah, and he brought her into the basement. So correct me if I'm wrong here. And then he forced her to bear his children. Am I wrong at any point so far? Because the DNA says that he is the father of those children. But you're trying to say that he is not bad and that we should let him go on his merry way because he brought them a Christmas tree. Got a little French there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Attorney comes aside and he's just like, look, I'm grasping at straws here. You got to help me out, okay? You got to work with me here.
Listen, I know that you don't want to be a part of this case, yeah? However, it is my job to make you look like a fucking idiot.
Okay, but you're embarrassing me right now. That
is literally my job.
You don't have to embarrass me. If you have to poke holes in my story, that's fine. I'm French now too.
Yeah, you got French. Your Honor, I would like to claim that I win the case because I made the defense attorney so angry he switched to French.
That is not fair.
Your Honor, he's French.
I can't figure out. I was trying to figure out a way to get a in there, but I couldn't think of it. Nothing came to me.
It's fine. Anyways. So
look, I'm embarrassing myself now too. I'm too deep in this attorney role.
I know. So the prosecutor pushed for life imprisonment in an institution for the criminally insane, and they showed the low height of the ceiling of the basement, which was only 5'8", which led to Stefan, who was way taller than that, having to hunch his entire life. God, can you fucking imagine? He had to hunch his entire life. That sucks.
Yeah, that's
not good for the back.
No, that's not. Mm-mm. Basically, he was basically forced into scoliosis.
Pretty much. God. Anyway, the prosecutor described the room as a damp, smelly, and moldy dungeon and passed around a box of musty objects taken from the cellar, the odor of which made the jury gag and flinch.
Yeah, that's Not good. That's pretty gross.
No.
Then Josef's wife and Elizabeth's children refused to testify at the trial, but Elizabeth did attend the trial in disguise. And then when Josef recognized her in the courtroom, he seemed to go pale and completely break down.
The next day, Josef approached the judge and pleaded guilty on all charges. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for 15 years and said that he accepted the sentence and would not appeal. Now, Judge Humer, who presided over the trial, stated that medical experts reported Elizabeth and her children were in relatively good health. And after being taken into care, Elizabeth and all 6 of her surviving children and her mother were housed in a local clinic where they were shielded from the outside environment and received medical and psychological treatment. Members of the Fritzl family were offered new identities, but it was emphasized that it was their choice to make. Berthold Keplinger, the head of the clinic where Elizabeth and her children were being treated, said that Elizabeth and the 3 children that had been held captive in the cellar required further therapy to help them adjust to light after years in semi-darkness. And they also needed extra treatment to help them cope with all of the extra space that they now had in which to move about. Because I imagine that would be kind of... What's the opposite of claustrophobic?
Agoraphobic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, in May 2008, a handmade poster created by Elizabeth and her children and mother at the therapy facility was displayed in the Amstatten town center. The message thanked local people for their support. We, the whole family, would like to take the opportunity to thank you for your sympathy at our fate, they wrote in the message. Your compassion is helping us greatly to overcome these difficult times, and it shows there are also good and honest people who really care for us. We hope there will soon be a time where we can find our way back into a normal life. Kirsten was reunited with her family on June 8th when she was awakened from her artificially induced coma, and the doctor said that she would make a full recovery. It was revealed that Elizabeth and her children were more traumatized than previously thought, however. During captivity, Kirsten tore out her hair in clumps and was reported to have shredded her dresses before stuffing them in the toilet. Stefan could not walk properly because of his height, which was 5'8", which had forced him into a stoop in the cellar. It had also been revealed that normal everyday occurrences, such as the dimming of lights or closing of doors, plunged Kirsten and Stefan into anxiety and panic attacks. And the other 3 of Elizabeth's children, who were raised by their father, were being treated for anger and resentment at the events. Which, can you fucking blame them?
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm. In July 2008, it was revealed that Elizabeth ordered her mother, Rosemary, out of the villa they had been sharing in a secret location set up for them by the psychiatric clinic. Elizabeth was upset about Rosemary's passiveness during her upbringing. At one point, they, were getting hundreds of letters from all over the world. Felix, Kirsten, and Stefan, who had been brought up underground, learned how to swim. All of the children attended a 4-day summer camp organized by firefighters with 4,000 other young campers. The children, along with their mother, have also made day trips, including swimming outings on which care was taken to keep them out of the reach of the paparazzi and to protect their privacy. In 2009, they were forced to move out of their hideaway and return to the psychiatric clinic where the medical staff had started to help heal the family and unite the upstairs and downstairs children during the previous years. Elizabeth was reported to be distraught and close to a breakdown after a British paparazzo had burst into her kitchen and started taking photographs. But of fucking course it was a British paparazzo. Those are the people that killed Princess Di. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Anyways, after the trial, Elizabeth and her 6 children were moved to an unnamed village in northern Austria where they were living in a fortress-like house. All of the children require ongoing therapy. Factors that traumatize the upstairs children include learning that Josef had lied to them about their mother abandoning them, the abuse that they had received from him during their childhood, and finding out that their siblings had been imprisoned in the cellar. Can you imagine the survivor's guilt, though?
Oh, God, right?
Yeah.
That's I don't even have words to describe it, but I cannot even fathom how much of a toll that would take on them.
God, right. The downstairs children receive therapy due to their deprivation from normal development, the lack of fresh air and sunshine while living in the confined basement, and the abuse that they and their mother had received from Josef when he visited them in the basement. All of the children might have genetic problems common to children born of an incestuous relationship. Elizabeth was estranged from her mother, Rosemary, for a while, who had just accepted Joseph's story about Elizabeth joining a cult and didn't pursue the matter. But Elizabeth allows her 3 children who grew up in Josef and Rosemary's house to visit their grandmother, and Rosemary lives in a small apartment, from what I know. On June 28th, 2013, workers began filling the basement of the Fritzl home with concrete. Estate liquidator Walter Ansbrecht stated that the construction would cost 100,000 euros and would take a week to complete. The house was to be sold on the open market, and while most of the neighbors approved of the proposal, some preferred that the property be demolished due to its sordid history. Asylum seekers were offered the house to live in. The house was eventually sold for 160,000 euros in December 2016, with the buyers voicing their intention to convert the house into apartments. In May 2017, Josef Fritzl changed his name to Josef Meyerhoff, probably due to getting in a prison fight that resulted in several of his teeth getting knocked out after other inmates set up a fake dating profile with his name and picture. Sometimes I really love prisoners. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Mark Perry, a British journalist who interviewed Fritzl in his cell, says that he has shown no remorse for his crimes. He recalls he just kept saying, just look into the cellars of other people. You might find other families and other girls down there.
That doesn't make it okay.
Yeah. But you'll be happy to know that in April 2019, it was reported that Josef's health was declining and that he did not want to live anymore. However, he is still alive 2 years later. So to that, I have to say, haha.
Yeah, just from the bottom of my heart, I mean this with all sincerity. Josef Fritzl, from me to you.
Yeah.
That's just for you. That's all for you, sir.
That is all for you, sir. For those of you who are listening and not watching, Kate is flipping off the camera with both hands.
Oh, I don't have enough hands for how much I want to flip him off.
Here, I help.
Thank you.
There, 4. I'm helping. Yeah. Kate, final thoughts.
Oh, in the sense that, because he wants to be dead, I'm a little glad that he's still alive so he doesn't get to die yet.
Agreed.
And yeah, he is easily one of the worst people that we've covered.
Agreed. At some point, we are going to rank everyone that we have covered. I already have a spot on my wall where I've decided that the rankings are going to go. Yeah, I've done that. Of course, our rankings will entirely be based off of our thoughts. You know, other people will rank other people differently, but that's just our thoughts. But yeah, Josef Fritzl is going to be one of the worst of the worst. I can guarantee that. Guarantee it. I remember
I feel like he'll at the very least be in top 10.
Oh, 100%. I remember hearing about this case when it was... I remember hearing about this case when it was just coming out, and I remember being like, what the fuck is happening in Austria? I was in like junior high when this was happening.
Yeah, 2008, that adds up.
2000, was it 8? Yeah. Yeah, April 19th, 2008. So no, I was a sophomore in high school. Because I graduated, or I graduated in 2010. So I was a sophomore in high school. And
Okay, I was in middle school.
You were in middle school. I was in high school. I just remember following this case for a very long time and just thinking, my God, this is insane. This is fucking wild. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah. I cannot say I did the same, but I definitely know that you did. I very easily believe that.
Yeah. Kate knows me well enough to know that when I say I've been following a case for years, I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
This from the girl who has Charles Manson's album.
Yeah.
On vinyl and original pressing.
You've got a lifestyle. You do.
I have never really thought about it that way, actually. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, you live a true crime lifestyle.
Huh. That's interesting. I have literally never thought about it that way before.
I honestly don't know if I have before right this second, but it came out and it made sense. It just came out like the most natural thing.
I'm inclined to agree with you, and I'm also inclined to start questioning my lifestyle. But regardless, Josef Fritzl, from us to you, we give the biggest fuck you.
Mm-hmm. From the bottom of our hearts, from all of us here at Chardonnay True Crime, Josef Fritzl,
fuck you.
Fuck you. Please rot.
Seriously.
Start whenever you want. If you wanted to start rotting now, and then like you don't even have to be dead yet. If you want to start rotting now, I am fine with that.
You mean like I am? Disgusting.
Yucky.
No, it's I was diagnosed with a cellulitis. That's what it is. It's basically just like a skin infection. I'm fine.
Blech.
It's disgusting. My arm is in so much pain. Oh, good news though. I got 2 days off of work, which means that technically I have 4 days off of work because I don't work on Tuesday and Wednesday. Or no, I don't work on Monday and Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta release my shifts. I went into work today just to like give them my doctor's note and be like, "Hi, I can't come in. Bye." Which is great because that means I don't have to work in a restaurant on fucking Father's Day.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything for my dad.
Get him a card?
I'll get him some coffee.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Anyway, also, I felt like this episode was appropriate to do just before Father's Day because it is a episode of a father gone very, very, very bad.
Yeah, I wasn't like that. Literally just occurred to me right now as you mentioned Father's Day. So I was like, "Wait, did you do that on purpose?"
Yes, yes, I did. I was looking around in what we had that I could do one episode on, and I found Josef Fritzl, and I was like, "Father's Day, horrible father, perfect." But anyways, next week we will be getting back to Heaven's Gate Part 2, where we talk about the cult even further. So until next week, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and we will see you next week. And fuck you, Josef Fritzl.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.